I woke up with a blank slate. Sitting by the bedside was a drop-dead, gorgeous woman. She told me my last name was Sterling, that I was a billionaire CEO, and she was the sugar baby I kept on a $50,000 monthly allowance. I believed her. After all, the mansion was mine, the luxury cars were mine, the black Amex had no limit, and she was tasked with warming my bed. It wasn't until the day the board of directors staged a coup that I walked in to find her sitting in my executive chair, coldly dressing down the room. She tossed two documents at me, a marriage license and a shareholder agreement showing she held 60% of the company's stock. I trembled. So, you're the sugar mama. She raised an eyebrow and smirked. Accurately speaking, I'm your wife and your boss. Now, about that service fee for last night. I looked at my empty wallet, then at the belt in her hand. Help. Is it too late to pretend I still have amnesia? When I first woke up, my head felt like it was being split open with an axe, a little drummer boy going down on my frontal lobe. I opened my eyes to a ceiling so luxurious it was offensive. Mr. Sterling, you're awake? A gentle female voice floated from the side. I turned to see a woman in a silk slip dress sitting on the edge of the bed. Her hair cascaded over her shoulders, her skin was porcelain, and her features looked like they were chiseled by a master sculptor. Especially those eyes, slightly upturned at the corners, naturally carrying a seductive allure. What was worse, or better, was the neckline of her slip. It dipped low, the curve of her. I quickly averted my gaze. Oh, who are you? I asked, my voice raspy. The woman paused, then a knowing smile played on her lips. Caleb Sterling, are we playing the amnesia card again? How long do you plan to keep the act up this time? Caleb Sterling? That was my name? Sounded powerful. Wait, what did she mean again? Do I do this often? I struggled to sit up, scanning the room. The bedroom was big enough to host a half-court basketball game. The abstract art on the walls went over my head, but it screamed expensive. Where am I? I asked cautiously. Oh, the woman stood up, walking to the window to throw open the curtains. Sunlight flooded in, illuminating her perfect silhouette. Accurately speaking, your mansion. This estate is valued at $40 million. The deed has your name on it. 40 million? I almost rolled off the bed. What do I do for a living? I gulped. CEO of Sterling Holdings, the youngest billionaire in Los Angeles. She turned, crossing her arms to study me. And also my benefactor, my sugar daddy. You've kept me for 3 years. You give me a $50,000 allowance every month. Forgot that too. Kept her? Sugar daddy? I stared at this stunning woman in shock, then looked down at myself. Okay, not bad. Abs were visible, fingers long and tapered, and the watch on my wrist looked like it cost more than a Honda Civic. Was I really a tycoon? What's your name? I asked. Victoria Vance. She walked over, sat on the edge of the bed, and placed a hand on my forehead. No fever. Why are you committing so hard to the bit this time? Her hand was cool, her skin soft. I instinctively flinched back. I'm not acting. I really don't remember. I confessed honestly. Victoria stared at me for a full minute, then suddenly laughed. Fine. Let's assume you really have amnesia. From now on, you'll have to get reacquainted with your little mistress. She stood up, spun around the bedroom, and pulled a shirt from the walk-in closet, tossing it to me. Put this on. I'll take you to survey your kingdom. While washing up, I examined the face in the mirror, strong brows, starry eyes, a high-nosed bridge, and thin, sexy lips. I definitely had the capital to be a CEO. It was just the look in my eyes that was a bit lost, like a tourist dropped in the middle of Times Square. Getting dressed was a struggle. The closet was full of bespoke suits. I picked one that looked the least ostentatious. I found out later it was a custom Italian piece worth more than my annual salary in my past life. If I had one. Victoria was waiting in the living room. She had changed into a vintage Chanel suit, holding a cup of coffee, looking every bit the socialite. Let's go, Mr. Sterling. She winked at me. Today we tour your assets. I followed her downstairs, my legs feeling a bit like jelly. The staircase was spiral, the banisters solid mahogany, silent underfoot. The living room below was massive, perfect for parties. Beyond the floor-to-ceiling windows lay an infinity pool, and beyond that, a private stretch of Malibu beach. I took a deep breath, tried to look like a man who had seen the world. This is the living room. That Italian sofa set arrived last month. 80 grand, Victoria introduced. That's the wine cabinet. The cheapest bottle in there is 5 grand. Oh right, there's a cellar in the basement. I'll show you another time. I nodded, feigning calm. This is your study. She pushed open double doors. You usually work here, although mostly you just play solitaire. There was indeed a computer, the desktop clean except for a few icons. I sat down and woke it up. Password required. What's the password? I asked. My birthday. 10:25. Victoria leaned against the doorframe. You said setting it as the password reminds you of your canary's existence at all times. I typed it in. It unlocked. The wallpaper was a photo of Victoria. She was lying on a beach in a bikini, her body so hot it made my nose bleed phantom blood. You forced me to take that, she said, walking over to lean down beside me. You said you wanted to put it where you could see it every day to remind yourself where your money was going. She was too close. I smelled her perfume, a faint jasmine scent mixed with her natural musk. It was dizzying. I quickly looked away. So, what exactly is my job? Job? Victoria straightened up and laughed. Mr. Sterling, your job is to spend money and enjoy life. A professional management team runs the company. You just sign a few papers every month and look at the reports. Though, you never actually look at them. This was the dream, wasn't it? Then how do I make money? I was curious. Family business. Your dad left it to you, she said casually. After your dad passed, he left you billions in assets. Your main task these past few years has been not to squander it all, though you've squandered plenty. Sounded like I was a trust fund baby. And you? I looked at her. What do you do? Me? Victoria walked to the window, the sunlight gilding her edges. My job is to accompany you, Mr. Sterling. Eat with you, shop with you, attend galas with you, and when you need it, sleep with you. She said the last 3 words lightly, but I heard them clearly. My face instantly heated up. Sleep with her? We slept together. Do we do that often? I asked cautiously. Victoria turned around, looking at me with a half smile. Mr. Sterling, you've kept me for 3 years at $50,000 a month. Do you think that money is a charity donation? Her eyes held a provocative glint, testing my reaction. I didn't know how to answer, so I changed the subject. I'm hungry. Is there food? Breakfast is in the kitchen. She walked over and naturally linked her arm through mine. Let's go, my sugar daddy. The kitchen was ridiculously large, equipped like a Michelin star restaurant. On the island counter sat an exquisite breakfast. Eggs, bacon, salad, fruit, and fresh squeezed orange juice. Did you make this? I asked. The housekeeper did. Victoria poured me a glass of juice. Me? I don't lift a finger for domestic work. That was your rule. I sat down to eat. It was delicious. Victoria sat opposite me, sipping her coffee in small sips, her eyes fixed on me. Why are you staring? I shifted uncomfortably. Watching what you're like with amnesia. She rested her chin in her hand. You're much cuter than before. You used to always scowl like the whole world owed you money. Was I mean before? More than mean. She curled her lip. It was always Victoria, pour me water, Victoria, rub my shoulders, Victoria, come to bed. Like ordering a maid around. My face burned. I'm sorry. Don't apologize. She laughed. I took the money to do the job. I was happy to. 50 grand a month? Some college grads don't make that in a year. She spoke lightly, but I felt something was off. After breakfast, Victoria said she'd take me to the company. Let's show you the Empire CEO Sterling built. A driver picked us up in a Rolls-Royce Phantom. Leather seats, enough legroom to dance in, and a mini fridge in the middle. How much is this car? I whispered to Victoria. About 800 grand, she said nonchalantly. You have 7 more in the garage. The cheapest is that Porsche, only about 200 grand. Me. Poverty really had limited my imagination. The car drove into downtown, stopping in front of a skyscraper. The glass curtain wall glittered in the sun, and the words Sterling Holdings at the top were unmistakable. This is my company. I was dumbfounded. What else? Victoria got out first and naturally extended a hand to help me. My legs were weak as I stepped out. This building had to be 50 stories. All mine. 2 rows of employees stood at the entrance, bowing in unison. Good morning, Mr. Sterling. Good morning, Miss Vance. It was like the emperor arriving at court. I tried to stay composed and nodded. Victoria held my arm, whispering, don't be nervous. Just follow me. The lobby ceiling was 30 feet high. The marble floors polished to a mirror finish. The receptionists were all knockouts, flashing sweet smiles when they saw me. Mr. Sterling, you look great today. Miss Vance, you look beautiful. I smiled stiffly, feeling like a marionette. The elevator went straight to the penthouse executive suite. When the doors opened, I was shocked again. This office was bigger than my entire previous apartment, assuming I had one. Panoramic floor-to-ceiling windows offered a bird's-eye view of Los Angeles. The desk was mahogany, big enough to sleep on. Behind it, a wall of bookshelves, though I suspected nobody ever read them. Mr. Sterling, here are today's documents. A male assistant with glasses walked in, holding a stack of folders. I took them, flipping one open randomly. It was full of jargon that made my head spin. "Leave them here, I'll look at them later," I said, pretending to be deep. After the assistant left, I collapsed into the leather chair. "I have to read all this." "No." Victoria sat on the sofa opposite me, crossing her legs. "Just sign them. You wouldn't understand them anyway." She was brutally direct. "Then what do I do in the office usually?" "Play video games, watch Netflix, occasionally sit in a meeting for appearances." She took out her phone. "Relax. The company runs fine. The professional team handles it. You're just a mascot." "A mascot? A billionaire mascot? What about you? What's your position here?" I asked. "Me?" She looked up, flashing a sly grin. "I'm your private assistant. Salary is $10,000 a month. The $50,000 allowance is separate." Good Lord, double dipping. I sat in the office all morning, pretending to read files, but absorbing nothing. Victoria, on the other hand, slept soundly on the sofa. Sunlight hit her face, her eyelashes casting small shadows. Watching her peaceful sleeping face, a thought flashed through my mind. Is this beautiful woman really someone I bought with a wallet? At noon, Victoria took me to the company restaurant. No, it was the executive dining hall, though it looked like a five-star hotel. We sat in a private booth, overlooking the city. The chef served a tasting menu, dish by dish, looking like art. Do I always eat like this? I stared at the foie gras, lobster, and truffles on the table, feeling like a nouveau riche cliché. Obviously, Victoria cut her steak. "You said if I was with you, I had to live the best life and eat the best food." I tasted the foie gras. It melted in my mouth, but I felt uneasy. All this came too easily. "Victoria," I put down my fork. "How do we meet?" Her movements paused, then she continued cutting. 3 years ago, you saw me in a bar. You said I looked like your first love, then offered to keep me. And I just agreed. "Of course not." She laughed. "I slapped you. I asked if you thought money meant you could do whatever you wanted." "Then what?" "Then you laughed and said, 'Yes, money really does mean I can do whatever I want.'" She mimicked my tone, and it sounded frighteningly arrogant. "You offered 30 grand a month. I refused. You raised it to 50. I thought about it for 3 days, then agreed." She said it lightly, but I noticed she was cutting the steak with a bit more force. "Do my parents know?" I asked. "Your parents?" Victoria looked up, her expression odd. "Caleb, your parents died 5 years ago. Did you forget?" "Oh, right." She said it was a family business passed down to me. "Then, do I have any friends?" "A few fox and hound friends. Rich second-generation kids. Usually just drag racing, drinking, picking up girls." She sipped her red wine. "But after you lost your memory, I declined their calls. Told them you went abroad for a vacation." I nodded, feeling hollow. So, I was a loner with no family, no real friends, just money and a beautiful mistress. "Full?" Victoria asked. "If you're full, let's go buy you some clothes. Your wardrobe needs a seasonal update. Buy more." I was shocked. "Isn't the closet full?" "Those are last year's models." She looked at me like I was a hillbilly. "Mr. Sterling, you are a fashion icon. How can you wear out-of-season clothes?" "Fine. Can't break the tycoon character." I thought buying clothes meant hitting them all. Victoria took me straight to a private club on Rodeo Drive. There were no other customers, just an interior that looked like an art gallery. Several well-dressed stylists swarmed me, measuring tape in hand, respectful as if serving royalty. "Mr. Sterling, this is the new arrival from Milan. Would you like to try it? This trench coat is limited edition, only 10 in the world. These leather shoes are handmade, requiring a 3-month wait list. Shall we pre-order?" I looked at the price tags and my hand shook. A shirt for 3 grand? Trousers for 5? A coat for 20 grand? Try them all. I gritted out. Victoria sat on a nearby velvet sofa, drinking tea, watching me with a smile. "Don't pinch pennies. You have 9 figures in your account." The fitting room was the size of a studio apartment, with 3-way mirrors and lighting that made me look like a movie star. I changed into a suit and walked out. The stylists gasped in unison. "Mr. Sterling looks incredible in this. The cut, the fit, it's like it was made for you." I looked at Victoria, wanting her opinion. She looked me up and down and nodded. "Not bad, but the pants are a little tight. Makes your ass look big." "Me?" The stylist quickly interjected. "We can alter that immediately." "No need." Victoria stood up, walked over to me, and reached out to adjust my collar. "Leave it. A little sexy is good." Her fingers brushed my neck, cool to the touch. My breath hitched, and I caught that faint scent of jasmine again. "What are you looking at?" She glanced up, her lashes long. "Pay the bill, Mr. Sterling." In the end, I bought over a dozen outfits, spending over $300,000. My hand trembled as I handed over the card, but on the surface, I had to act breezy. Pocket change. Walking out of the club, Victoria suddenly said, "You know, you never used to look at the price. You just bought out the store." "Bought out the store? You'd have them clear everyone out, so they only served you," she said. "You said you didn't like people watching you try on clothes." Me? Being a CEO was exhausting work. We got back to the mansion at night. The place was blazing with lights, dinner prepared by the staff. I was silent during the meal, lost in thought. Victoria didn't speak either, eating methodically, occasionally glancing at me. "I'm done. I put down my utensils. I want to rest." "Go ahead," she said. "Need me to accompany you?" I paused mid-step. "Accompany? For what? You tell me." She smiled, eyes teasing. "Sugar daddy, you've kept me for 3 years. You didn't just want me as a decoration, did you?" My face went instant tomato red. I'm a little tired today," I stammered. "Fine, rest early then." She didn't push it. "If you need me, call anytime. My room is next to yours, although you've never let me sleep alone before." I practically fled back to my room. I closed the door and leaned against it, heart pounding like a drum. What do I do? Will she come in tonight? If she does, what do I do? Do I really sleep with her? Even though she's gorgeous and has a killer body, we've only met for a day. I paced the room, my brain a mess. Finally, I decided to take a shower to cool off. The bathroom was bigger than my living room, with a jacuzzi, steam room, and separate wet and dry zones. I turned on the shower, the temperature perfect. Halfway through, there was a knock on the glass door. "Caleb, are you done?" It was Victoria. I almost slipped. Not yet. "I'm coming in," she announced. "Wait, I'm still washing." The door opened. Victoria stood in the doorway, wearing a bathrobe, hair damp, clearly having showered in another bathroom. The robe was tied loosely, revealing exquisite collarbones and a lot of pale skin. What are you doing?" I quickly grabbed a towel to cover the essentials. "What do you think?" She walked in, closing the door behind her. Fulfilling my obligations, sugar daddy. The bathroom filled with steam, the lighting warm and yellow. She stepped closer, close enough that I could see water droplets clinging to her eyelashes. I'm really tired today." I backed up until my spine hit the cold tiles. "Tired?" She reached out, her fingertip tracing across my chest. "Mr. Sterling, you never used to say you were tired. Which time did you not keep me up until past midnight?" My breathing quickened, feeling all the blood in my body rushing south. Her finger trailed lower, stopping at the edge of the towel. "Want me to help you dry off?" "No." I grabbed her hand. "I'll do it myself." Her hand was soft, skin silky. I held her hand, the two of us deadlocked in the steamy bathroom, the temperature rising. "Caleb," she suddenly laughed, a sound laced with mockery. "Since you lost your memory, did you lose your guts too? You weren't like this before. Before you—" She didn't finish, but I could guess. The old me was probably a rude, domineering jerk who treated her like a toy. "I'm sorry." I let go of her hand, whispering the apology. She froze. "Sorry for what?" "Sorry for treating you like that before." I looked at her earnest. "Even though I don't remember hearing you describe it, I must have been terrible to you." Victoria's expression shifted, her gaze turning complicated. The bathroom was silent, save for the dripping water. After a long while, she sighed and turned to leave. "Go to sleep. I won't bother you tonight." The door clicked shut. I let out a breath, but then felt a little disappointed. "Caleb Sterling, you idiot. A beauty throws herself at you, and you refuse. Are you a man?" But on second thought, if she was only with me for the money, what was the point? I dried off, put on pajamas, and tossed, and turned in bed. The next morning, I woke up feeling pinned down. Opening my eyes, I found Victoria had climbed into my bed at some point. She was wrapped around me like an octopus. Her leg was thrown over mine, arm around my waist, face buried in my chest, fast asleep. Morning light filtered through the curtain gap, washing over her face. In sleep, she was quiet, stripped of her usual cunning and dominance. She looked like an innocent girl. I held my breath, afraid to move. Her body was soft, smelling faintly of sweetness. Her silk pajamas were thin, letting me feel every curve. Worse, the morning physiological reaction arrived, right on schedule, and she was pressing right against. I carefully tried to push her away, but she just hugged tighter, mumbling, "Don't move." Her voice was soft, sticky with sleep. I stiffened, the situation becoming critical. Just as I was fighting an internal war, Victoria woke up. She opened her eyes, saw me, blinked, and smiled. "Morning, Mr. Sterling." "Morning." My voice was a croak. She clearly felt the anomaly in my physical state. She looked down, then raised an eyebrow. "Oh, Mr. Sterling is standing at attention." My face went supernova. Normal physiological phenomenon. I tried to explain. "I know. Instead of letting go, she rubbed against me. Need a hand? That's one of the canary's duties, you know. No, I shoved her away and scrambled off the bed. I'm going to wash up. Rushing into the bathroom, I splashed cold water on my face. Looking at my beet-red reflection, I cursed, useless. When I came out, Victoria was up, sitting on the edge of the bed scrolling through her phone. Seeing me, she smirked. Shy. No, I denied instantly. Oh, she drew out the syllable. Then continued tonight. Me? This woman is a succubus. During breakfast, Victoria took a call, her face suddenly turning serious. Okay, I know. I'll be right there. Hanging up, she told me. Something came up at the company. I have to go handle it. What is it? Serious? I asked. Small issue. She stood up. Stay home today. Don't wander off. I'll be back tonight. She left in a rush, not even finishing her food. I had a bad feeling. If it was a small issue, why go personally? And her expression didn't look like it was small. I decided to follow. Changed clothes, got the driver to take me to the office. When I arrived, the atmosphere was definitely heavy. Employees were rushing around with grim faces. I went straight to the top floor. Before I even entered the office, I heard shouting, Victoria Vance, don't push it. The company isn't yours alone. Director Walsh, Mr. Sterling, is recovering. I am acting with full authority on company matters. If you have objections, wait until he recovers. Recover? I think he's never coming back. Can a vegetable wake up? Vegetable? Who? Me? I pushed open the door. The room froze. Victoria was sitting in the CEO's chair. Opposite her stood several middle-aged men, the board of directors. Seeing me, they looked like they'd seen a ghost. Mr. Sterling, a balding man stammered. I heard someone say I was a vegetable. I walked over. My legs were still a bit weak, but I tried to project power. Do I look like a vegetable to you? Victoria stood up, coming to my side, whispering, why are you here? If I didn't come, I wouldn't know people were declaring me brain dead. I glared at the directors. What's going on? Someone explained. Silence in the office. Finally, Victoria spoke. Mr. Sterling was in a car accident a while ago and was in a coma. He just woke up. Some people are trying to seize power. Car accident? Coma? I didn't know that. But I couldn't show weakness now. I rolled with it. Oh, so you thought I wouldn't wake up? So you wanted to carve up the company? No. The balding man was sweating now. Director Walsh, Director Lewis, Director Zimmerman. I pointed at them one by one. I recall your combined shares are only 15%, right? Who gave you the courage to cause a scene here? Victoria whispered in my ear, well said. I took a deep breath and continued acting. From today on, business as usual. Miss Vance is my plenipotentiary representative. Herr Vort is my Vort. Anyone who has a problem can speak up now, and I will buy out your shares right here. I learned that line from a TV drama. Didn't expect it to actually work. The directors looked at each other, then slunk away with their tails between their legs. Once they left, my knees buckled. I almost hit the floor. Victoria caught me. Are you okay? I'm fine. I leaned against the desk. Who were those guys? Minor shareholders. Always wanted to take over. She helped me sit. While you were in a coma for 3 months, they made a lot of trouble. I was in a coma for 3 months? I was shocked. Yeah, car crash. Brain injury. She poured me water. Doctor said you might have amnesia. Didn't think he'd be right. So that was it. Then the company. I looked at her. You've been managing it these 3 months? Who else? She smiled bitterly. Did you really think you were just a mascot who spent money? Caleb, you founded Sterling Holdings. You built it from zero to $1 billion valuation. While you were out, I fought like hell to protect your life's work. I was stunned. I founded it. My dad didn't leave it to me. Your dad? Victoria's expression turned weird. Caleb, your dad was a gambler who drove off a cliff when you were 10. Your mom raised you, and she passed away from illness 3 years ago. What family business? My brain buzzed. So, everything she said before was a lie. Then, who are you really? I stared at her. You're not a mistress I keep, are you? Victoria went silent. After a long moment, she sighed, pulled a file from a drawer, and handed it to me. See for yourself. I opened the file. The first page was a copy of a marriage certificate. It had our photos dated 3 years ago. We are husband and wife. My voice shook. Obviously, she sat opposite me, calm now. Did you really think I'd let someone keep me for 50 grand? Caleb Sterling, I am your lawfully wedded wife. I kept reading. The rest of the documents were even more shocking. Victoria Vance, only daughter of the Vance global empire, the richest heiress in Los Angeles. 3 years ago, she married me, a poor kid, against her family's wishes and used her family's resources to help me launch my startup. Sterling Holdings rose so fast largely because of the Vance family's connections and capital. And me, the so-called billionaire, 60% of the company's shares were actually in Victoria's name. The monthly allowance I got, that was her giving me household spending money. Even a mansion was in both our names. So, I looked up, struggling to digest this. I'm not the tycoon. You are. You could say that. She nodded. But you're not a gigolo either. Caleb, you're smart. You have a killer business sense. Sterling Holdings is successful 70% because of your ability. Then why? Why lie to me? I didn't get it. Why pretend to be a sugar baby? Victoria's eyes dimmed. Because before your coma, we had a fight. You said I was too dominant. You said I used money to pressure you, that you could never hold your head up in front of me. She paused, then continued. After the accident, the doctor said you might lose your memory. I thought, if you really forgot, I'd try a different dynamic. I wouldn't be the dominant wife. I'd be the kept lover, let you experience what it feels like to be the alpha CEO. So, I thought back to the last 2 days. You were acting? At first, yes, she admitted. But then I found out. Amnesia Caleb is really cute. You get shy, you apologize, you consider other people's feelings. Much cuter than that stubborn jerk who died to save face. I didn't know whether to laugh or cry. So last night, in the bathroom, you were testing me. Yeah. Her cheeks flushed slightly. I want to know, if you thought I was just a woman bought with money, would you treat me carelessly? But you didn't touch me, and you apologized. Caleb, you've changed. I looked at her, my heart a mix of emotions. So what are we now? I asked. Legally, husband and wife. She walked over to me, crouching down to look up into my face. But if you're willing, we can start over. Start with dating, take it slow. I reached out, touching her face. Victoria, was I a real bastard before? Yes. She nodded honestly, stubborn and prideful. You clearly loved me, but refused to admit it, insisting on posturing with toxic masculinity. I'm sorry. Don't apologize. She held my hand. The amnesia isn't your fault. Besides, I really like the current you. Looking into her beautiful eyes, an impulse surged in my chest. I leaned down and kissed her. The kiss was light, like a feather. She froze for a second, then responded, arms winding around my neck. The kiss deepened. I stood up from the chair and lifted her onto the massive desk. Documents scattered onto the floor, but neither of us cared. This is the office, she whispered between kisses. So what? I'm the CEO. I mimicked her earlier tone. She laughed, the sound swallowed by the kiss. It was sweet, tasting of her lip balm. My hand slipped under her shirt, finding the smooth skin of her back. She was burning up. Caleb. She gasped my name. I kissed down her neck. I remember. Why we fought before the coma. Why? Because I wanted to sleep with you, and you insisted on being the one on top. Her voice got quieter. In the end, nobody slept with anyone. I paused and grinned. And now? Who's on top? She flipped over, pinning me against the desk, her long hair brushing my face. Me, obviously. Don't forget, I'm the real tycoon here. Looking at the mischief and desire in her eyes, I suddenly felt that this was perfectly fine. All right, CEO Vance. Tonight, I'm all yours. She smiled with satisfaction and lowered her head to kiss me. Outside, the sun was shining. Inside, the temperature kept rising. As for the files on the floor, or the secretary outside who might hear, who cares? I'm the CEO. Oh wait, the CEO's wife. No, the CEO's husband. Actually, whatever. Who cares? Epilogue. 1 month later, Caleb Sterling recovered some of his memories. He remembered his past with Victoria and the company business. But he pretended he hadn't, continuing to enjoy the sugar daddy treatment. Victoria saw through it, but didn't say anything, playing along with his performance. Employees often saw scenes like this. CEO Sterling playing video games in the office while Miss Vance processed paperwork next to him. CEO Sterling, Vicky, I'm thirsty. Miss Vance, without looking up, pour it yourself. CEO Sterling, I'm the sugar daddy. Miss Vance, sugar daddy, your credit card's in my purse. If you want water, go buy it yourself. CEO Sterling. At home in the evening, roles reversed. Victoria, Caleb, foot massage. Caleb, I am a sugar daddy. Victoria, sugar daddy, think carefully. Who's on top tonight? Caleb, massage coming right up, CEO Vance. Victoria's childhood friend Lucas Thorne visited one day, saw this, shook his head, and sighed. You two are into some weird role play. Caleb, mind your own business. Single dog. Lucas, I'm leaving. Anyway, this is the story of an amnesiac CEO who thought he was keeping a beauty, only to find out the beauty was the real boss. And finally, They lived happily ever after in shameless roleplay bliss. As for who ends up on top, that's between the married couple. We outsiders shouldn't ask. Story complete.